navigating the M365 admin center mainly. So we've been able to distinguish between roles, licensing. We've talked about products. We've talked about different form of products, and then the last time we came to say, okay, user onboarding, and then we've also come to say user management, and we've seen all of those ones around the Microsoft 365 admin, and non-admin, or client and admins end. All of these are just to, in combination, make us comfortable with the environment, mainly because before we would up into concentrating on the core technologies. When I say the core technologies, like the Microsoft Teams technology, the Exchange Online technology, the SharePoint technology, and whatever one we want to pick up again to look at in the future. But before we do all of those, we need to know the basic, um, the in-depth about some basic or common administrative center that everyone, whether you are a Teams admin, Exchange admin, SharePoint admin, you are always going to use, to maybe do one or two things, or use it as a navigation point to get into where you want to go to. And that admin center today is admin.microsoft.com. So I see this as a living room, right? I see this as a living room, just as our one of my regular practices is to use Paint to demonstrate what we are trying to do today, right? So really, what is here is that this is like the living room, the M365 admin center. So in the M365 admin center, you may be your own focus or your own area or your own role. Already you know what role is. Maybe that you're going to be like a Teams administrator, right? You may be the Exchange administrator, you may be the security administrator, you may even be the SharePoint admin. So if we are coming here that you're a Teams admin, excuse me, I never wanted to use that. If we're coming here as let's say the Teams administrator, Teams is always, the color of Teams is always maybe blue, right? The shape color, where are you? This is the field. So I may just want to, where am I supposed to do that? I'm trying to remember. So anyway, let's move on. So you may just be in another admin center. Maybe this one is Exchange admin center because you're an Exchange administrator. And then you may just be like, you may just be, oh, this I'm supposed to do that. So you may just be the Exchange administrator, or you can even be the SharePoint admin. Let's say a SharePoint admin here, right? If you are a SharePoint admin, or maybe you are a security administrator, right? But no matter the admin role that you have, I just want to label this SharePoint admin, SharePoint admin center, or you are working on Teams admin center, or you are a Teams admin, or I use this as security admin, or you are an Exchange administrator, Exchange admin. One admin center you always work with is the M365 admin center. So this admin center is like the home of all admin centers, right? Before you move into whichever administrative admin centers that your role covers. So if you are a SharePoint admin, it means therefore that you'll be the one managing OneDrive as well. If you are a Teams admin, it means that you are the one cutting across the Teams voice, and all of that. Then security administrator, of course, you know what that is. It's going to be like the guy in charge of the security of the tenants. And then you have the Exchange Admin Center. What we're trying to say is that whatever role that you have to play, you will, as an administrator, a privileged administrator, you always have access to admin.microsoft.com. So, but when you get to admin.microsoft.com, what determines the administrative rules that are listed for you are or is the role that you were given. So it's possible that you were given like a SharePoint administrator. So what that means is that when you sign into admin.microsoft.com, the only admin centers you would see to navigate to is the SharePoint admin center. Then if you're just a Teams administrator, when you get inside of this place, the only thing you will have is the Teams admin center. And then if you were given security admin, then it means that this is the only thing you will see. And if you were given Exchange, you see Exchange and a few ones that are dependent on Exchange admin centers. So what that means is that if you are an administrator, a privileged administrator, no one's stressing on the word privileged administrator, then you are going to be having access to the M365 admin center. And what is the URL to land into the M365 admin center is admin.microsoft.com. So this is where we are going to be. This place is where we are going to be living our life today. So we are going to be living our life today to see what is contained inside of this admin center, from where you can branch off to your specific roles in the cloud space. So, and I said it's admin.microsoft.com. So admin.microsoft.com. So this is where we are going to be living our lives today. So if you've not signed in here, of course, you know what it is. You have to supply your username, your password, and sign in. Just like one of us here trying to reach out to me to say he could not get to this admin center with Pillars Concept. And I say, yes, you cannot get here because you are not authorized to get into this place. So if you are authorized to get in here as the administrator of the tenants, so what you do is you click on show all. So if you click on show all, it will expose everything that you are supposed to see depending on your level of authorization that you have access to. Okay, so I'm just trying to quickly show you down below here. So the reason why I see admin centers. So what I mean is that, with that room, you're going to see, depending on how the house is structured, you're going to see how to navigate to the other part of it, right? So just like this one, you are in the Teams, you are in the M35 admin center because you have access to security admin center, compliance admin center, Microsoft Intune, the identity admin center, the Exchange, the SharePoint, the Teams. And then if you click all of this, you see all admin centers. So this is like that house that has from where you can see the other part of the apartment. So your cloud environment, and then the parts of that cloud environment where you can have access to the other part is where you are. And what you can see here depends on what you were given access to see. So while saying that you can be the SharePoint admin, you can also be the SharePoint as well as the Teams administrator. So what that means in that case is that when you come here, you're going to see SharePoint and you will also see Teams. Then if you were given security administrator or Exchange admin only, if you are given Exchange admin, you're going to see Exchange, you see security and compliance, because there are some features in Exchange that depend on security and compliance, right? But if you are given Teams administrator or SharePoint admin, it is only that admin role that you are going to see here. So the reason why I can see all of this is because I am the global administrator of this tenant. So if you are the global administrator, then you are going to see everything. So that's why that is just one thing to mention. Now, when you come into the M365 admin center this way, there are things that you have to look out for. If you come to home, you will see that this is the first icon. The second icon is Copilot. The third one is users. The fourth one is group and teams, roles, resources, marketplace, billing, support, settings, setup, reports, health. Then you come down to security, which are the admin centers and all of that. So we are going to be going from one point to the other and familiarize ourselves with the environment here in home. And thereafter, we can look at Copilot and then we go down the line and then let's see where we can get to before the time elapses for this meeting. So this is saying good afternoon, Joseph Afeso, because I am signing here as this user. So if I click here, you would see that it is me, and that's why this is addressing me. That's welcome. So this simplified view helps you focus on the most common tasks for organization like yours. So this is just trying to show me like very common flagship that I may want to look at and maybe carry out some things quickly within my environment. So for here, I say for organization like yours, that no more getting double booked. So this is just use Microsoft Booking to take the stress off your customer appointment schedule. So one of the application I know that people use less, I'm not saying useless, people use less is app like Bookings, Microsoft Bookings, Microsoft Sway, is this Sway? Yeah, Sway, Microsoft um Viva Engage, which is going to form part of our conversation at the end of this meeting, because we want to transition from WhatsApp, we want to retire WhatsApp and focus on Viva Engage. So application like Stream, that's what's come to my head. Stream for recording. A lot of people don't use them. So this is trying to suggest to us that we can. So what Booking does is you have your booking link sent out to your clients or your customers. Then for them to schedule a call with you, they will use that link to block some time in your calendar that will eventually create a Teams meeting. So this time you are not the one creating the Teams meeting. You've shared your calendar availability and your client or your customer will use the booking link to book a time in your calendar. And then what you just do is to come and look at your calendar and say, oh, okay, I'm supposed to have a meeting with this person at this also time. So for those of us who appear for, who go for interviews like Upwork interviews, that they will share a link to us to say, pick a time for the interview. They actually use Microsoft Booking to do all of those, where somebody shares their calendar with you, and then you pick availability for interview based on your own availability and convenience, instead of the person restricting you to pick a specific time. For example, if the person's time is actually not available, you will see when the person is not available and the times that the person is available will be active on that booking link, and then you can book your meeting. So that's what it is being suggested to me at this point, to use Microsoft Booking to take stress out of my customer appointment schedule, so that they can pick a time that works for them and a time that's showing on my calendar that I am also free, right? So share training info about Microsoft Teams, help everyone learn to use Microsoft Teams. So this is like a training suggestion that is being, so if I want to follow this link, of course, I can just click on it and see what's here, but that's not our focus for today. We're just looking at the suggestion that we're giving to us at our homepage based on our day-to-day activity. So scrolling down, just in case we are newly employed in an environment, you can just come to the home and just see, hey, what's supposed to be happening here. And then you can see that here, your organization at a glance is showing me that the users I have, these are my users, right? It's trying to quickly show me my users. And then I can see their licensings. I can see these are my users. So I have Oluwayomi, I have Pepe Clerk, I have Solomon Boro, and these are the licenses they have. So this is just in case I want to carry out quick actions to simplify what I should focus on. So I may want to focus on users based on my So it means that I can also quickly create user from here. I can quickly reset passwords from here. So these are based off on the activities that I've been carrying out in my tenant, and the system has been learning what I have been doing like in the recent time, and then therefore suggesting to me what I need to do, right, to make sure that I can, do what is required of me. Now, the next one is teams. So what this is trying to do for me is it will give me like a list of the teams that I have in my environment. So for you who's just newly resuming an organization, you may just want to use this opportunity to know what are the number of teams that we have in this environment. You can see that we have ABC of cloud employee onboarding, co-pilot license group, project this. So you can take a time to look, or your time to look at what do I have here. So you see that the teams have email addresses, right? So when we get to teams, you actually see the use of these email addresses, but just on a high level explanation, it is that email address that you can use to pop a mail or a chat to the general channel directly from your Outlook. So you can actually send content to um, a team from Outlook by sending an email to this email address, and it will get delivered to that channel, which we are going to be treating later. So these are the list of the, if you look at the first point, the users in the organization, and then the next point is the team. And I think the next thing is you want to look at what is the subscription that we are using. So this is actually going to tell us our subscription that we are making use of at the moment, and it's just trying to load those subscriptions that we have in this environment up. Can you just be very fast? So why this is loading, basically, this is just giving us like a simplified view and what we need to know about this. Not that these ones they do not have like specific places you need to go to go see them. Of course there are, but like I mentioned, instead of going through the convolution of those routes, the system is just trying to identify what may be of paramount interest to you at an instant in time. So it is saying now that we have the Microsoft 365 Copilot. How many have we assigned to users? We've assigned 11 out of 25, and it's still active till the dates. The pay yearly is what we are doing. The dates, the next points of purchase that we need to do. We also have this license, which are assigned. We have 5. Purchase quantity, we have 5 here. I think we also have another one that is 5. That's why it is 8, because we have 10 total of this. Then we have this also, we have this, and then we have Microsoft Teams Enterprise Trial. Then we have the Microsoft Teams Enterprise Trial. So this is for subscriptions. Then the next one is the upcoming changes. So this may just be like announcement from Microsoft, right? That you need to be aware of. So it is saying that update reject multiple from address P2 from header without a sender header. SharePoint online change that is coming. Update to Microsoft list forms. Then talking about Microsoft Outlook for iOS and Android, there's going to be choose fonts while composing. So this is going to come. So while you're composing your email on Outlook on your iOS devices, then you'll be able to choose the fonts that you want to use. Then this is SharePoint Online change also coming as enhancement to the text web part. And then the update again coming out from Microsoft Outlook is notification will be batched in the notification pan. So there are like 83 other relevant announcements from Microsoft. But basically, you that is just resuming an organization, or you, without you even being like a new resuming person, sometimes you may want to just pop in here to see what is on product roadmap, just so you can go through what is available. And then here is like a learn. So this is like what you think or what Microsoft is recommending that you should learn at this point. So the Microsoft Admin Center simplified view. So this is like what we are doing now, and this is like a video to that. So once it's playing, we'll just mute just so we can hear what it is saying. So I would have expected it to start playing by now. Let me just end it and just hit on the play again. So if it's not playing, we may just move on. So this is just like what we are doing now is what is here, right? Under the lens. So you could come here and then play this and listen to what it is under the lens, as well as comment to how to make sign in more secure. So it's about 1 minute 11 second video. So you can go through this learning yourself as someone who wants to read. You can read them, you can watch the videos as well. I'm not sure why that one was not playing. Let me just try to hit on this also. So this is saying how to set up MFA for your organization. So this one is playing
Multi-factor
really.
authentication is an added step to the sign-in process, which improves your security by requiring you to use a separate device to help verify your identity. Everyone in your business will need to go through this process. Let's look at how to set it up. When signing into Microsoft 365 for the first time, you'll go through the normal process of entering your work email address and password. You'll then receive a prompt for additional information. Select Next. You'll be prompted to download the Microsoft Authenticator app to your mobile device. Choose Download Now. On the Microsoft Authenticator website, scroll down, use your mobile device to scan the appropriate QR code, and follow the steps to install the app. Return to the Microsoft login screen and select Next. Read the instructions, then return to your mobile device and open the newly installed Authenticator app. Select Accept, Continue, Add work or school account, then scan a QR code. If prompted, allow the app to use your device's camera. Return to your desktop, select Next, and use your device to scan the QR code on your screen. Once the account is added, return again to your desktop and select Next. To test the installation, take note of the displayed number. Return to your mobile device, select the notification from the Microsoft Authenticator app, enter the number, and select Yes. When you return to your desktop, your test will be complete. Select Next. Then Done. MFA is now set up for your Microsoft 365 account. With multi-factor authentication, you will now be prompted to use the Authenticator app under certain conditions, like when signing into Microsoft 365 from a new location or device.
All right. So from here, you can see that there is a training that led you to. So what that means is that you can go through all the trainings. This is how to make signing more secure, then how to add another administrator. So you can just go through this also, and then this will just be like something that you can study. So let's also go through this before we move on.
When you sign up for Microsoft 365 Business, you automatically become a global admin. If you want, you can make other people admins as well to help manage the business. There are a number of admin roles you can assign, each having to do with managing different aspects of your business. Let's get started. From the simplified view in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, under the Users tab, choose the user you want to make an admin. Then select Manage Roles. Choose Admin Center Access and select the admin role you'd like the user to have, such as a help desk administrator that can look after support tickets, monitor service health, and reset user passwords. Select Save Changes, then close the window. The next time your new admin logs into Microsoft 365, they will be able to access the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, which has all of the tools and data they need for their new admin role.
So you can see from here that you can see that you could also go through those trainings that we have been looking at. What about how to set up custom business email address? Change your domain from .onmicrosoft.com, which we've not gotten here already yet, right? So you can actually do this. That's what I'm trying to say. So just from your M35 admin center, those things, those basic things that you need to learn, you can come on that learn and go through those basic trainings that you can have access to. What about, yeah, we've gone through all of this. So this is the home part of the whole thing. So haven't seen what is contained in home. For Copilot, this is like very recent that this came up. So for Copilot, this is where you manage everything related to Copilot, view insights about how people are using and learning about Copilot, assign licenses, find trainings, again, find trainings, right? So change settings and more. Unfortunately, there is always no time to do things, but I must tell you the fact that if you are learning this technology, or even if you are using it to work every day, it's always very good if you can spare some time to come here and just to look at some things and see what is changing, right? See what to learn, then see like some things that you want to look at. So this is dedicated to Copilot only. So there are announcements just like the latest things that are happening. Then key to succeed with Microsoft 365 Copilot. Select one of these fundamentals to start diving or driving Copilot adoption and usage. So right now, what is the level? Optimize Copilot license assignments. So I have 35.3 percentage. So assign license based on usage, or usage should help increase the percentage of active users across the organization. So I have 35.3 active users in my organization. That is AI assistance core. For me, is 18 over 100. So the more consistently people are using Copilot feature in their daily work, the higher the score. So if I am an organization, I'm seeing that I'm having 18 over 100, then I should be looking at maybe bringing up data champ or Copilots, um, advocates in my organization that can be talking to people about how they should use Copilot. Then highlight Copilot business impact. High organization leaders assess how Copilot saves user time and impact key business outcome. So you can go through these and see what's there. I just want to maybe let's click on this and see what they're going to give to us. Copilot assist hours, view Copilot dashboard, Viva Insights, right? That's going to take us to like a lot of places. So for this, we are just coming to the overview, and I think there should be reporting down there also. I just want to come back home and then go back to Copilot and let's see. Yeah, so this is what I want to see. So if you come here, you also see that active by application. So what this is telling you is that in my environment as it is right now, I have given the license to people, and I've given it to this number of people. 17 people have co-pilots, but in all the applications, how many people are active? I have 6 people that are actively using Copilot, even though I've given it to 17 people. Then in Word, how many people are using it in Word? 6 people generally are using it in across apps. Then for Word, only 4 persons are using Copilot actively. Then if I come to PowerPoint, only I've given 17, but only 4 are using Teams. I mean in PowerPoint. What about Copilot app? Only 3 persons are doing that. Then for this, only 2 people for Microsoft Teams. For Outlook, no one. For Excel, no one. For OneNote, no one. For Loops, no one. For Edge, no one. But this is if you have co-pilots in the environment that you have all these reports, right? Then the usage also, I mean, you can learn more in usage. So if you click on this, it's going to move you to reports, a place called reports. So, but before we move on, let me see if I can quickly, take us to an environment that does not have co-pilots, and let's see what we have in that same environment. So I'm just going to the same thing as admin.microsoft.com. also just want us to look at what we'll have, let's say, in an environment just like the one you'll be seeing in your own end. You may not have Copilot license in your test environment. So what are you going to have under Copilot? That's what I'm trying to look at here, just so we can see the differences between what I have here in an environment that has no Copilot license and an environment where you have Copilot license. So you will see that the environment where I do not have Copilot license is just basically telling me manage everything relating to Copilot, view insights about how people are using and learning about Copilot, which is the same message that we have in the other part. But we will not see anything about reports here. This one is just showing Copilot image generating or generation, Copilot being Copilot this, Copilot that. There is no report and there is no number of users who have access to it or thereabout. So if I come home in another tenant also, you would see that we have different suggestion here. This is because what I do in this tenant is different from what I do in the other tenant. But one thing to mention is that you have add user too, you have edit user, you have reset, you have delete user. And then if you click down here, you see customize dashboard light, and then this is where to either turn it, this one to be white. I mean, like this, you want to turn it to be white just so you can see clearly like this, or you want to make it back. As simple as that can be what you are looking for. So that's where to make those changes. So what I'm trying to say is that one tenant is unique to what it is doing. So the suggestion that you'll be getting in one tenant is not going to be the suggestion you get in another tenant. But one good thing is that it always pull out those details according to what you have in this environment. Like this is talking about compromise, say compromise, synchronized identity. Then Microsoft Entra Connect is talking about the password sync and all of that. Then the install for this. If you come down here, there are trainings for administrators. So also you can click here and then this is going to take you to trainings. But the trainings that you will have access to are what is recommended based off on what activities are going on in this tenant. Just so when you get into your
Choosing the right
environment,
Microsoft 365 subscription for your business is key to getting the most out of the service. Let's take a look at the available plans. With
so for this now, it's telling you about plans, about subscriptions, and all of that. So this is not what we are going to be focusing on today, but I'm just trying to show you that just in case you get your environment and you are trying to look for the things that I showed you in my own environment, and you see that under home you are, of course, but it's showing you something different. Don't be scared. You are doing the right thing, but just scroll down to see what is recommended to you. So this is just what is similar to, what organization like yours are doing that you are not doing is just what it is suggesting to you to use Teams, turn up for student, check off for these, guest access and all of that, and Edu, turn on Teams and all of that. So if you come to Copilot also, you would see that it is going to be different. The reason is because I do not have that license here. So there is no for this is just suggestion for the home. Then for this one is based on if you have license or not. Just in case you are thinking that, hey, am I doing the wrong thing? You are not. Just be confident enough. But one thing that is common is that you always find trainings that are always going to be very useful. You can see this training for users, training for admins, advanced deployment guide and assistance. So if you can take your time to come here to study, to watch and read these videos, you will learn a lot. I must promise you that. So you can see like a striking difference already. That's why when you are newly employed into an organization, don't feel that you know everything. You just have to go, just check based on what you've been given access to. Just understand how the environment is structured, just so you can make like very nice contributions to the team. So that's for co-pilots. Then the third one is users. So under users, you have to drop down users. And then already we've come to active users. And in our previous conversations, we spoke about how to onboard users. And then we did that by coming to add a user and then we supply the name. And then before you know it, we're able to hit on submit, and then we created user. This is not the method that we are going to be using today. So I'll just do to yes and close it. So the next point is that you will see that you have user templates. So these user templates, how is it ever useful? User template is useful if you, for example, having people resuming your organization from time to time, and then you want to create a template that will make life easy for you, just so when people are coming to resume and you know that maybe you have like three departments in your organization, and then you know that people in IT, they're always going to be given this role, then people in finance, they're always going to be given this role, and people in as the case may be, they're always going to be given this license. So instead of waiting until they resume, to just make life easier for you, you can create a template. You know what a template is? For example, in your Word document, you have like template for CVs, right? So if you keep a template for CV, when you want to create a CV, you just go there, pick it, and then you have placeholders that you just need to put in names, and then you can easily now use that to create a CV for yourself. This template that is template is also possible here in your M35 admin center. So how do we use that? If you click on templates, you see manage template, you see add template. What's the difference? Manage template is just in case you have templates that are available in your environment that you want to make use of. Then add template is if you want to create a template. Let's say we want to create a template. Now, what's the name of the template? We want to just call it IT staff. IT staff. Let's just say onboarding. Now, you may just want to give a description. Just say this is to ease the creation of IT departments, new users. Okay, so now you've done this, right? So this is publish this template, make this template available to users, to other admins rather, who manage users. If you want to unpublish a template, delete it. You can't change a template to private after it is published. I will explain this to you. If you create these templates and then you check this, what it means is that if another administrator, let's say another user administrator, wants to create user, if you go to templates and manage templates, you'll be able to see these templates there. But if you want it to only be that whenever I want to create this template should only be I should only be the one to see it. You can uncheck this, right? But once you publish the template and this was checked, you can't change it back to private. That's what the system is saying. So if this is private templates, so if you publish it, you will not be able to make it available to other admins. Then if you check it and it's available to other admins, you cannot retrieve it. It will always be available. So if you want to unpublish a template, delete it. That means you're going to delete it. Like they should not see it again. You can just go delete it because you can't change the template to private after you've published it. So next is, what do you want? Do you want it that when you are creating this user, it should auto-generate password? I'm sure that you know what we are talking about now. Should it auto-generate password, or should it let you create password for the user? So if you want it to auto-generate password, you leave it this way, and that's what the template is going to be doing for you. Then if you want it that no, you should always be the one to create password, you can always do this. And then require user to change their password when they are first signed in. Of course, you know what this is. If I want to check it, if I want to check it, I can just leave it here. And then again, choose the domain that you want the user to be. So, if you are adding different domains, so if you are creating those users, do you want them to be in the default.microsoft.com domain? If you have different domains, let's say, for example, you are in different countries and this is .com.ng and you are creating this template for IT users in Nigeria, or you want to say Nigerian users, you can just leave it at .com.ng so that whenever anybody is coming to resume, you always pick this domain. So you are creating this template for only Nigerian users. So if you have .co.uk also, so if somebody is resuming in the UK, you can create a template for them to say, okay, they should always use this, depend on your own situation. So you can always create something. So the next thing is, for example, if there are licenses that you always want them to automatically pick up from the queue. So you can give them those licenses so that once you create this user, the idea of giving them license, you don't want it. You just want them to automatically pick up those license from the queue, like these two licenses by default. If you also want them to pick this, you can give that license there. But remember that if you are out of the license, then the user creation will fail and it will tell you that because you do not have license. You can try those on out. So the next thing is that's your optional settings. So for the apps also, you can decide to, while trying to give them those license, you can decide to choose the app they should have access to when you use that template to create a user, or you might want them to have everything. The next point is that optional settings that you already know. Since they are IT users, so if you just want them to automatically become, let's say, password administrators, right? At least at the barest minimum, somebody in IT should be able to change password for non-administrator users. So you may just want to search for password admin. I don't know where that one is hiding. So I think it should be, I hope I've not passed it. Maybe I've passed it up here. Help desk administrator. Let's just give them help desk admin and let's just give them password administrator. So when you create them, they're automatically going to become password administrators. And then if there are other admin roles you want to give them, of course you can give them. For their profiles, if you have like the details for them, job title, you can call them IT admins or IT admin department, information technology, IT. Then office, if you're going to specify the office, you can do that. Then if they have like a specific country or region, you can come to Nigeria. And then depends on what you want to do, then it's already there. So this template is already getting set. So the next point is just for us to click here and then review the template, review and finish creating your templates. The name is IT staff onboarding. Then this is this, and then publish this, and then password is going to require user to change password or false first signing. Then require is going to be this first line in, and then the location is Nigeria. License is this that you've given to the user. The role is password administrator. If you want to change it, you can click on edit. Then profile information, title, IT admin, department is IT, country is Nigeria. So if it's fine by you, you can click on finish. So once you click on finish, what is saying your template is now ready for you. So you can close it. So what that means is that if you want to create a user, you can come to use templates. You can see the IT staff onboarding is already here, right? So for manage template is basically if you want to delete template or if you want to edit templates. So before I even go on, if I come to this, I can come here and then what will happen is that I can delete these templates, right? Then of course, if I come here, I can click on select the templates and then why is it not selecting? Edit templates, right? Just in case I want to change the name or there's anything I feel that was, of course, you see that I can no longer change this to private, right? Because this was a warning that I should not deselect it, but I can change the name, right? I can call it now Nigeria NGIT onboarding. So I can do next. And then if I want to change, let me create password or it should not require them to change their password. I can do that. If I want to remove one particular license and maybe give them particular license, I can do that. But you can see that I cannot change the name of the template, but I can change this job title, can change whatever I want to change the country and all of that. So I'll finish, right? So this is just trying to show you the difference between coming back to active users. This is just to show you the difference between use templates in terms of this and then um, add template. So how do I now create that user? So if I come to NGIT staff onboarding templates now, if I click on this, the only thing I need to do, I will just say created templates. That is the name of the user. So it's going to display that So if I just bring this detail down here and I put in just that there. So the name is template, and then of course I'm using this template. I can at this point I can decide to change the template if I have other templates to use, and then it's going to be created by the template was created by me on by this time. So other admins too will see this thing there, right? And then the domain, then passwords, then product license, all the details. I'm just going to hit on add user and you'll see something. The user has been created, the temporary password. So for YouTube sake, this is a dummy user. I don't need to do anything with the user. So the password is not relevant to identify with any user. It's just a demo lab user only. So you can see that the display name is already showing created templates. That is the name I gave to the user, and it's always saying template ads because it's picking up that. And then let's come back now to bringing the display name of this user, and let's come back to the list of the users that we'll have. So if I come back to active user list and I paste this here, excuse me, and then I hit this, you already see if I click on this place now, you will see that first I did not give, you did not see when I was giving him a role. He's already a password administrator. You also see that I did not say the user is in, what information do I want to show you again? Just hold on. If I come to licenses, for example, very quickly, you'll find that it's already bearing these two licenses. Remember, I did not give this user any license, right? So these are some of those details that I provided. I'm trying to see the user location, and that's what I'm looking for. Contact info, created template. This is the template. I mean, this is the name of the user that was used, and then I'm just trying to see the user location, right? So I think it's edit user information that we'll see that manage contact information. Yeah, this way we'll see that. You see that these are the names, and you will automatically see that the user is in Nigeria because the template has stated this. So you can really create templates like that. You can add more templates. Just so let's say you have somebody resuming, you need to add a template that is going to be used for accounting. So you can say ACCT template, right? So you can just give a description and then you do next. So if for this one, if you want to give the user the default domain, and then you can say, let me do the password and I'll do next. And then I also want to, I don't want to give them license. I can say do not assign license to the user automatically. Then I'll do next. Then for the optional settings, if I want to, I can, of course, give admin. They are just an account. They don't need admin role. And then, so I can jump all these ones. There's no need giving them that. And then for the user info, I can decide to call the job description accounting. And then for department, I can say ACCT, then office can be in Lagos. Then that is if there's office phone number that everyone should have access to, I can just put it there. You can see now the streets, then the state or province, then the details of the country. I can decide to Antarctica, and then I can do next, and then I can do finish. So what this means is that if I create this template and I use it to create a user, now if I say use template, you can see that I have two templates here. Can manage just in case I want to make changes or delete. So if I say ACCT template is what I want to use, I could just call this one ACCT user, and then the display name will come. I just want to call this guy's email address ACCT. So you can see that I don't have option to change the domain here because it's part of the template. Because I said I should be the one to stipulate the password, you can see that it is telling me that I should. See, saying that password is weak because it's strong now. So I can decide to give that, and then if I want to change the template at this point, of course I can also change, but it should remain in ACCT template. So what happens next is I can use templates, and then that is the password. So the user is created already. And then if you come back here to search for ACCT, right, it should be in the list of our users. And if you click on this, you would see that This is a detail of the user is bearing this domain. And then if you check further into the user info is in accounting, I mean, the name is accounting. Then this is the phone number, the office phone number that we gave it. And then if you go to manage contact information, you will see that it's in ACCT, it's in department, it's in Lagos, and then this is the phone number. And if there are other detail and tactical that we give as the user location, you're going to find that because the template bears that, right? So this is how to create templates. If you want to delete templates, just come to manage templates, and then you can easily delete a template that you're no longer interested in. You can just hit on this and then you can delete the template, and that's gone. There is no like recovery for templates, or that you just create a new one. So that is under active users and then user templates. Then add multiple user also. For add multiple user, this can be used to create 249 users. So you can decide to be adding first name, last name, username, check the domain that you want to give to the user, keep typing them here, first name, last name. And then once you are done, you click on next. So if you have more than that, this is going to be default 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to add, you can be adding. But once you get to 249, then you are not going to be able to add again. So you may be asked to create using CSV. CSV is comma separated value file to input the detail of the user. So how do you create multiple users? So I'm just going to play this. Hopefully it plays, and then we can just watch through that. I don't know why the input plays is trying not to respect us today. But let's just give it one more hit and see. So basically, it's just what we did now that it's going to show us how to enter the detail of the user here, right? Let's say we want to just say bulk one. Then this is, sorry, there's no key there. Bulk one. Then we'll just call it bulk one. And then here is bulk two. Then we'll call this one bulk two. Then you can decide to choose the domain. Maybe this one can go with this domain. Then you can say bulk three, and this one is bulk three. So you can, go ahead and create this user. But I think one thing that to mention here is they're just going to be like basic user, no license, and then you can go down and give them license. Okay, the next one, of course, you can give them license. You can decide to give them Power Automate license right from here. And then I think it is rule that I did not see when I was doing this. Yeah, I did not see the option to give them rules, right? But you can also decide to come here, and then if you want to remove like some applications from the, so you can do this to as much as 249, and also see that you cannot choose departments. There are no option for that details. Then you do next. Then once this is done, then you can just click on add, and then what's going to happen is that it has added these 3 users for you. The same way we would have been able to add 4 users. And I see that by default, the passwords are auto-generated, and then there is call for you for the user to change password upon first signing. So you don't have the permission to say, okay, you want these users to be created, but they will have to change their password. I mean, that you want to generate password for them. No, it's going to be random password. They're going to have license, but you can't manage their rules when you're creating users from the list of those. So if you come to your active users and then you search for bulk, as I said, for bulk, then you can really have those users bulk one, bulk two, bulk three by just clicking through. And because I give them Microsoft Power Automate free license, you can see that all of them have the Power Automate license here for them all to make use of. So this is how it can be sweet to create like a list of users without coming to add for 3 times before you can do this. And if you look at it, if you look at their domain, because I changed the domain of bulk2 user to .onmicrosoft.com while creating it, you can see that it has picked up the different domain, different from what bulk 1 and bulk 3 is. So this is truly how to create user using the multiple templates. So instances where there are more than 249, right, from 250 and above, there can be instances where you can be asked to create like 300 users at a time or 250 users as the case may be. These roles are not going to add beyond 250. So what you do, which is going to be your assignment, we are going to monitor your submission on this. You can click on this, and then what happens is that you can download a blank CSV file with the required header. So what this is going to do for you, I'm not going to expose, show you like more of what to do here. It's going to be your assignment. Then you can download this with an example. Then you are going to remove the example. So next week, I'll be coming back to look at these assignments and download a CSV file that include example user info. So if you want an example on the CSV file is actually, so if you click on this, really, it's going to download a file for you, right? If you click on this also, it's going to, so the difference between this and this is that for this one, you have example of what to follow in your first or your second row, right? And then you are just to put in your username, the details that they have, and all of that. And then you can go ahead and create the user. So just give me a second. There's something I just need to quickly stop sharing my screen and open this and see if it loads without displaying what I wouldn't want to get displayed on the screen. Then I can show you exactly what is there. Just give me a second now. Okay, I think it's here. I'm just going to. Okay, so just give me a while. Um, okay, I think this is fine enough. Okay, so there are no cause for troubles. Let me just quickly, I don't know why, I may drop off a bit. Just give me a second. Okay, so guys, I'm just going to apologize for that brief. Okay, so I was just trying to be sure that I don't have some private information on the screen. So this is the CSV that we downloaded. So this is going to be like an example. I mean, this is going to be like one of those details that say, okay, enter the username, enter the first name, the last name, the display name, the job title. So there are some points that are compulsory, like the display name is compulsory, the user principal name is also compulsory, and the location, if you want to give license to this user, then the location is important. I'll just come back here now. And then for the one with example, I'm just going to open it so that you can see what you're going to do during the course of your assignments. I'm just still trying to open it. Yeah, cool. So that is it. So what you are going to do is that you have this downloaded. So your domain now matters a lot. So you come here, you can say Joseph at your domain.com, What's the first name of the user you are creating? What's the last name? What's the display name? So out of trying to give like the right picture to this, I may just want us to come to this place. And then let's look at what our domain is looking like. Our domain is so let me just go to this BAM2, and then let's copy our domain here just so it can make sense to us. So let's come back to this that has an example. So what I'm saying is that I can say CS. I hope I'll be able to allow to use CSV. I'm not sure. So let me just say uh, pillars bulk. That is the username, and then I'm putting the name, the user, the email address of that user, and then the guy's name is. So this is not compulsory. Then this is bulk. That's his name, and then the display name is compulsory, so it's going to be pillars bulk. Then the position is not compulsory, but I can also just call it IT manager. Then the department is definitely not compulsory, can leave it out, the phone number. And then if I want to give it office phone number, all these, if I want to give that user has, I can give to the user alternative email address if I have, address if there is, this if there is, this if there is, zip code, country if there is need for me to put country, I can put Nigeria here. So I've been able to input all this detail. So what I would do is for me to remove the example that was given to me, I can delete it. So I can input as many people as I want to input. So how you do this is, for example, you want to give these templates to your HR to always fill for you, just so you can input them when you need to use them. So if you've done this, so the next thing you do is to save it, and then I wanted to save it with a name that, in a location where I will remember what it is. So I just want to put it under, browse, and I want to put it under downloads. Downloads, where's my downloads? And then I just want us to call it, I want to put 2 inside of here, just so we can remember. And I just want to hit on save. Remember, I could input a lot of names here, like a lot of people, as many as I want to enter into this list. It's not, I must not remove this column, this row, but it's not compulsory that I fill the entire detail, right? It's not compulsory, honestly. So I can just do that. And then what happens next is that when I come to active users, and then I come to multiple users. So under multiple users, sorry, what did I just click? Users, add user, right? And then, excuse me, that's not the right thing. What am I doing? Yes, I don't want to. So active users, then under, I think I'm selecting something. Yeah, this is why. So add multiple users, and then I'm coming to do, I would like to use CSV. So I'll browse to that CSV. I'll pick the user2. I'll bring it up on this screen. So the file you loaded has one or more error. Please correct the error. So this is what is going to be there. What is there? Row 2, pillars bulk, email address incomplete or invalid character. So you come back to it, you check what is there, what is not making it correct. So yes, the reason is because there is no art, right? It's supposed to be at pillars concept. So you need to really know what you are supposed to do. So it's supposed to be at pillars concept, but there was no art there. So it was not an email address yet. So I'll minimize this, and then that has shown me what is there. So I'll just go back and browse, and then pick it back, and then open it. Then something is still wrong, right? So the file you uploaded as one or more error, please correct the error. So you can do this. So email address domain contain extra invalid character. So you just have to go there back, look at it, what is happening. Okay, so pillars bulk pillars at cloud.com.ng. So I fixed the I fixed the I fixed the domain at the wrong place. So it's supposed to be here. So you see what I'm just talking about. You need to really understand where the error is coming from. I'm happy that I'm making this mistake deliberately. I mean, it's not deliberately. I'm making this mistake genuinely. I'm not really being concerned about whether they are wrong or right. And I am truly making those mistakes. So, and this is just for us to know when you're having mistakes, you know where you want to go and check. So let's hope that it is correct now. Let's put it again. Then, because it is correct, it's no longer giving me headache. So that means that as it is correct for me, I can now come back and decide to add people to this. I can now say, okay, Joseph 2, then at what's the domain here? I can now start bringing this domain. Excuse me, can now start bringing this domain here to create like a lot of people, right? Then what's the first name is not important. Then the display name is very compulsory, right? The display name is compulsory that you put there. So you can call this Joseph 2. And then what is his role? Role is not important. Then department is not important. These are the only things that are very, very important that you take note of, right? So that's why you have this. So if it has a role, you can add a role to it, and then you can truly do a lot. Just give me a second, please. So that's how you can set all of this. So I'm just trying to show you that you don't need to input all the details, right? So I can minimize this again, and then I can rebrowse to that same file now that I've populated it, and then I can open it. If there's an error in the second one also, it will show me, right? So you can see that it is saying that first or last name is required. So that means that in the CSV templates, first or last name is required. So fine, no problem. I'll come back here and then I would say, okay, the first name, right, is, so that means that the other stuff I said to say that the first name or last name is not required, that the display name is required, first name at least must be there. So we can just put 2 here. I hope somebody is following what I'm saying. So if I do save now and I come back here to say, okay, thank you, I've imputed those, and then I'll browse to the file again. Let's see if I'm going to have an error. I'm just trying to get like the possible errors that you can get while you are trying to use CSV to create a list of users. And the assignment that you're going to have today is to create user with 10. You are going to create 10 users using the CSV template. So once this is okay for me, so what I would do is I will just click to next, and then it will tell me, do you want to give those users license while you are creating them using the CSV template? Then if you want to truly do that, you can decide to, so because I have a lot of Power Automate, I can just be giving them Power Automate license now. And then that's just fine. There may be Power Apps also, and then I'll do next. And then if I do that again, it's trying to show me from the license I'm giving them, I give location to Nigeria as Nigeria, and then I will add users. So what this is going to do is that I've added users using the CSV file, which is almost the same thing as what we saw while we are doing bulk user create. There was no option to give role to the users, and there was no option to say, okay, we will change your password. We give you like what's it called? I will create password for you. There was no option to do that. And there was also no option to say users should not change their password upon first signing. So it's required when you use CSV file, when you do any of the system of bulk create. So I will just click on close, right? And then if I come to the list of the users I have and I search for this guy, I should see Joseph 2 already showing there, right? So this is the user that we created using the CSV file. There are a lot of details that will not be here But if we had populated those details in the, if we had created these details or these users with the details in the CSV file, of course, they will also populate in the list or in the attribute of the user. So if we look for the other users that were also created from this, we would find out that we can also see pillars bulk was the name. You can see that also we have the licenses given to the users when we come here. And that was what we did when we pulled the users detail up from this. So if you look at what we've been able to do today, we've looked at the home, we've looked at co-pilots, we've looked at users that we've been able to do before. And under active users, we have two options or two other options that we've looked at, and that is on adding multiple users by following creating templates. And then again, we also looked at how to use CSV to create user, as well as the option for multiple user up to 249. So this information is plenty already, I will quickly say. So I want us to continue from contact, from guests, from deleted users, but that will have to be the next class that we're going to have. So this recording is going to be available, and you are going to be using the CSV format to create users. You are going to be creating templates to creating users, and you are going to be managing templates, as well as going into your own tenant and see what is available under your home and what is recommended for you to do, and then see what is under active users, and then see how you can create user templates and how to create multiple users from virtually typing in the name of those users, maybe up to 5 or 6 as the case may be. And then you also now have access to use CSV file to create user accounts. I don't want you to stretch it beyond this so it doesn't get a bit more difficult and complex for us to practice what we have learned today. Meanwhile, I want to say thank you so much for paying attention to this, and we are going to continue from here the next time we meet. Thank you very much. It is time for you to ask your questions.